Hi, I'm Rabbi Daniel Lappin, and welcome to the show. I also want to thank those of you who've been sending such beautiful questions into my website. From those I selected for today, this one. My husband and I are reading your book on business. That's called Thou Shalt Prosper, the 10 Commandments for Making Money, or it might be Business Secrets from the Bible. That's another one. So she says, we're reading your book as a result of seeing you on the 700 Club. That's quite right. I discussed the book a little while ago with Pat Robertson there. She writes, I have been in business for 25 years in the imprinted apparel business, and recently my husband lost his job. It made sense for him to join the business as he's 10 years younger than me, and I have to deal with a lot of boxes and deliveries when jobs are completed. My business has supplied me for 25 years, but it is a small business, and now we need to generate enough income for two. We start our day every day reading scripture and praying, and then get to work. So far, so good, as the last summer camp order was double the size of last year. It is still a step in faith as we attempt to grow our business and ask God to help us. Is there any specific advice you would give us? Thank you, and God bless you today. And that's from Lauren. Lauren, hi. Well, yes, we're going to look at your entire question. And we start off with this. There is a concern here. You spoke about, first of all, I'm very sorry your husband lost his job. I mean, that is terrible. It's a painful thing. But you spoke in terms of having a lot of heavy boxes to move around, and that your husband being younger than you would be useful for him to be able to come and do that. I want to say very, very clearly here, and I have to be clear. If the only function your husband has in your business is a function that could be fulfilled by a big, strong 16-year-old boy, then you really need to stop this arrangement right away. Now, I may have understood he may be contributing much more to the business than simply carrying boxes around. But if that's the main function, please, he must go and find another job. Number two, there is a really bad precedent in business when somebody gets overpaid because he's the boss's husband. Now, you may not have any other employees, and so you may say, well, there's not a question of demoralizing any of the other employees who see this man getting paid too much because he's the husband of the boss. But it would apply in every business. Even if your husband and you are the only two people in the business, for anybody to be paid or to draw more out of the business than the economic financial value that the person brings into the business is unbiblical. It's simply wrong. It's a bad idea. Never works. And finally, third point, even if your husband does much more than a 16-year-old intern could do, and even if he is being paid what his real economic value is to the business, there is still another concern, and that is what happens to a marriage when the husband has to report to his wife. Many businesses today have recognized the danger and the unwisdom in that situation. It's not a good one. I don't have to go back to the first few chapters of Genesis to point out the details. I'm sure you know them as well as I do. But I want to urge you to always put marriage before market, put marriage before money, put marriage before the business. And it is quite possible that even with all those things being right in terms of the work and the contribution your husband is making and he's not being overpaid, it is possible that the marriage will suffer by him being your employee. By the way, when the wife is the husband's employee, there are also difficulties of a totally different kind. One has to be aware of those as well. But in this particular situation, there is real concern about your husband being your employee, you being his boss, in terms of impacting the marriage in ways you really don't want. In those circumstances, for him to go out and find another job is by far and away the best thing. You have to analyze your situation carefully in the context of these three concerns. Let me know how it goes, Lauren. I pray it goes well. I'm Rabbi Daniel Lappin, and I want to thank you for being with us today, and I wish you good times with your finances, your family, your friendships, and your faith.